Latency is perhaps one of the most frustrating bottlenecks for your users when you're building AI agents or AI apps. A study at Amazon found that for every 100 milliseconds of latency, it cost them 1% in sales, which equals to around $3.8 billion. But now, with the new predicted outputs feature by OpenAI, I'm excited to share that for some specific use cases, this problem is finally solved. So this feature is amazing, but of course there are some caveats, which is why I'm making this video. Okay, so let's dive in without further ado. In simple terms, predicted outputs allow you to provide a guess on what the AI model is going to generate, and then the more accurate your guess is, the faster you'll get your response back. So think about this like guiding the model with a map and sort of showing it where to go, which helps it obviously to get to its destination faster. So a key thing here to remember is that you need to know what the output is going to look like in advance, because the closer your guess is, the more benefits you can achieve with this new feature. And by the way, with this feature you can get up to 4 times faster responses, which is a really big deal. Because previously, as developers, we had only 3 ways to solve this annoying problem. First, using a smaller model. Second, using fine-tuning. And third, simply reducing the size of your prompt. However, obviously, all of these techniques do come at a cost. Using a smaller model, for example, significantly affects accuracy, and fine-tuning requires a large amount of high-quality data. So in many situations, as a developer, you are left only with a single option, reducing the size of your prompt. However, cutting down as much as 50% of your prompt results in only 1 to 5% latency improvement. And of course, we do not want to cut our precious prompts. After all, how else are we going to ensure that ChatGPT never, under any circumstances, says that it's ChatGPT, so your 20 million startup doesn't lose its funding? But of course, all jokes aside, you can't use it on any task. You need to use it properly. So what does properly actually mean? Well, as I said before, the closer your prediction to the actual output of the model, the more benefits in terms of latency you can achieve. So the best use case for this is editing. Whenever you are editing anything like a blog post, an email, or a large code file where most of the content remains unchanged, you should use predicted outputs. As a developer, I can't wait until this is introduced in Cursor and other AI coding tools like Vercel v0 and Bolt New, because right now all of them rewrite the entire file from scratch, even if you asked it to change only a single line of code. But now you might be wondering, why not just ask an AI tool to output the part of the code where the change is required? Why are all of these AI tools rewriting all of the files from scratch? And the answer is because most LLMs still can't count accurately. This is something I personally encountered when I was building David, my version of a software developer agent in my framework. You see, in order for an LLM to replace a certain part of a file or a document, it needs to know the exact line number where the change is required. However, all models except O1 still don't even get the strawberry question right. So we cannot reliably expect these models to predict the exact line number in a 250-line file. Additionally, rewriting the entire file reduces the chances of any hallucinations, because obviously if the model generated the entire file, it is a lot less likely to forget, for example, about certain imports at the beginning. Another cool use case for this is content moderation. For example, in our agency, we sometimes faced issues with RAG pipelines, potentially exposing some sensitive data to the end users. And to mitigate this, you can use predicted outputs with a smaller model like GPT-4o Mini to anonymize the messages by other AI. This way, you can create some really sophisticated AI pipelines without sacrificing the user experience. But now, how do you use it as an AI agent developer? Well, the answer is really simple. The exact same way However, instead of running it in a pipeline yourself, you need to allow your agents to run them for you. How do you do this? Well, with a tool. You simply wrap your AI pipeline with this new feature within a tool that your agent can use. For example, if you are building a writing assistant, you can create a tool that connects to Google Docs and edits the file according to the agent's instructions. For example, it can spell check it, add another paragraph somewhere, or reformat the complete document. Here's one great example for how to use this feature in our Agency Swarm Lab repo, where we have the file writer tool for a software developer agent, which works the exact same way as Cursor Composer. It takes the file, it takes the dependencies, and then it rewrites the file or generates a new file according to the requirements provided by the agent. So to add this feature, all I did is simply introduce another if statement that checks if the mode is modified, and if so, it sends the original file into this new prediction parameter. That's it. Now the output will be generated much faster. On average, I got at least 2.5 times decreases in latency, but the longer your file, the more benefits in terms of latency you can get. Now, lastly, there is one important limitation that you need to know. Any tokens in your prediction that are not part of the final completion are charged at completion token rates. So if you provide a prediction that's completely different, you'll be charged for generating two pieces of content at the same time. You'll pay both for the prediction and for the content that the model actually generated. However, the good news is that if you use it correctly, like I described before, then there will be almost no difference in costs. This is why I also, by the way, modified the prompt to output only the code and nothing else, because again, the closer your prediction is, the better. So that's it for this video. I just wanted to do a very quick overview of this new feature. A lot more bigger and exciting updates are coming up soon. So thank you for watching and don't forget to subscribe.